Hello, my Nollywood movie fans. Well, all I could say is be very careful of what you wish for. I'm talking about the movie Undeserving, and it's starring SONIA UCHE, Daniel ETIM, and CHISOM AGOAWUIKE. So hit that like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Now, this movie opens up with Nina, played by Sonia, and Summer, played by Daniel. And they're just having a fun time together, chasing each other around the house and playing video games together. At first I thought they were either married or dating, but when it was time for Summer to take Nina home and he wanted to change his shirt in case he sees some babes, I said, oh, they're just friends. However, Nina is letting people think that they're dating. It appears that Summer and Nina have a really nice friendship, and they do spend time together, even with Summer's friend Mike on occasion. But it's also noticeable that Nina is always at Summer's beck and call, especially one day when Summer called and Nina almost hurt herself running so fast to see about him. So when Nina did reach Summer's house, he was in distress because Customs seized his shipping containers and they want 50 million naira that he just doesn't have. But you know what? None to worry, because Nina asked her mom, who works for Customs, to help. And she did. But she's under the impression that Summer and Nina are dating. Why? Because that's what Nina told her. So we then see Nina at home with her sister Chuma. And Nina is on the phone with Summer, complaining that she couldn't reach him all day. And when Chuma questions Nina about Summer, we find out that Nina has known Summer for 2 years, and he has not decided to make her his girlfriend. And you know what? To make matters even worse, Nina has refused to date anyone else for those 2 years. Now, Summer's friend Mike can see that Nina really likes Summer as more than just a friend, and he even tries to convince Summer to make Nina his woman. But Summer insists that he only sees her as a friend. And you know what? It's unfortunate because there was even one night that Mike and Summer went out and Nina waited for him to return and he didn't. And my people, he wouldn't even answer the phone. So later that night, Summer was very sick. And of course, Nina came running back to see about him. And after returning back home from the hospital, Nina decided she will stay and nurse Summer. Now, Summer was under heavy medication. And my people, why did Nina take advantage of that? And she took the opportunity to have sex with Summer. The next morning, Summer was very upset, and he let Nina know that if they didn't use protection, then Nina must take that morning after pill. And she did. She promised that she would do that. Although Summer was very unhappy, Nina was very happy. Now, later that morning, Summer was telling Mike that he only sees Nina as his sister, and he doesn't want her as his wife or his girlfriend. He just doesn't see her that way. Well, my people, not in Nina's eyes, because she told Summer that it's official and that they're together for real. And the look he gave her said it all. But you know what? He did tell her that what they did was a mistake and that they're just friends. Well, when Nina got home, she couldn't wait to tell Chuma that she and Summer are dating. And when her mother comes in to talk to her about a job that she pulls strings for Nina to get, Nina doesn't want that job because it's in Lagos. She doesn't want to go far from Summer. Now, Nina starts coming around doing things for Summer. And he really is not interested at all. Nina even had a birthday, and she spent the whole day waiting for Summer to come, but he didn't. And he didn't even answer his phone. And you know what? He actually does spend a lot of avoiding Nina's calls. So one particular evening, Nina went to talk with Summer. And my people, she told him that she was pregnant. And boy, was Summer furious because Nina never took that morning after pill. Now, Nina wants Summer to marry her, and he's not trying to hear it. And he feels tricked and deceived by Nina. I mean, he likes Nina, but he's not in love with her. Mike, however, does try to make Summer see the bright side of marrying Nina. Now, of course, Chuma is also furious when she finds out. But in Summer's defense, my people, Chuma doesn't know the entire story. Well, long story short, after much pressure and thinking, Summer does agree to marry Nina. And Nina is overjoyed, but my people, Summer is not. He just wants to do the right thing. So anyway, after the wedding, Summer is just going through the motions and not really into Nina at all. He even makes excuses for not having sex with her. You know, it's too bad Nina is in denial. She believes all is well. Well, my people, one day, Summer is at work and a manager came to meet with him. Her name is Diana, played by CHISOM, and it was love at first sight. Now, while Summer was at work admiring Diana, Nina became sick and Chuma found her on the floor. She tried over and over again to call Summer, but he would not pick the call. Well, my people, unfortunately, by the time he arrived at the hospital, Nina had lost the baby. And that was really the beginning of the end of their marriage, because that baby was really the reason why Summer married Nina. Now, Summer started spending more and more time with Diana and coming home late. And when Nina expressed her unhappiness, he suggested that she go on a trip by herself. Meantime, he can't get enough of bragging to Mike about how beautiful, smart, and perfect Diana is. I mean, the chemistry between Diana and Summer is very obvious. I mean, Nina tries her best to make Summer more attracted to her, but it doesn't work. Summer is in love with Diana, and Diana has fallen for him also. My people, Nina does eventually find out that Summer is seeing Diana because she followed him one day after he didn't come home because he was out with Diana all night. And that's when Nina finally realized how foolish she was, and she has been thinking that she could make Summer have feelings for her that he just doesn't have. My people, I don't know how I feel about this movie because Nina did play trickery to get Summer to marry her. But you know what? Summer should have just stuck to his guns and not married her. We should definitely be careful of what we wish for. Now, Sonia and Daniel both did excellent in this movie. And I always say Daniel really can deliver his lines with feeling. And Sonia will always make you grab a tissue to dry your eyes. This movie is definitely a winner for me. And I think you'll feel the same way if you watch it. And you know what? You could watch it right here on YouTube at SONIA UCHE TV. So please don't forget, hit the like and subscribe. And you know what? Leave a comment. But most of all, remember, get your Nollywood on. Bye for now.